Hello friends, this is Durga from ITversity. Lately I have started something called as Python Live Workshop for COVID donors. I am also providing support for them via Slack. There are 100 people who actually donated for COVID and getting support via Slack for this ongoing live workshop. If you are curious about the agenda, the content is available as part of my GitHub account. My GitHub account is nothing but this one. There is a repository called as ITversity Books. If you are interested in getting notifications whenever I publish new content to this repository, you can actually go to this repository and click on watch star or fork and you will start getting the notifications. Also, if you want to get notifications related to our content in YouTube whenever we publish or live stream, you just subscribe to our channel and both the links will be provided as part of the description of the video. If you want to get the notifications whenever we publish the content on YouTube, you also might have to click on notification icon, then you will start getting the notifications. That being said, these are the topics that are being covered as part of this live workshop. You can actually go to this and you can understand. However, the students who actually join the Slack want to get some real world usage of Python. I have thought about it and I have identified a very good use case or unique use case which will cover multiple real world scenarios, and you should be able to leverage the Python as programming language, and you should be able to solve some of the problems which are similar in nature, which I'm going to cover as part of the one of the sessions which I am going to present this weekend. Let me get into those details so that you understand what it is all about. And on top of this content, I'm also covering some of those real world use cases. At ITversity, we have something called as ITversity Labs. It is nothing but a web interface using which you should be able to access our 10 node cluster where we have Spark, Kafka, etc. in big data ecosystem, and you should be able to learn Spark, Kafka, etc. by paying a nominal fee. If you are interested, you can sign up. But to understand whatever I'm going to cover, you don't need to be a Spark developer or Kafka developer. It's a very common use case where you'll be getting data using REST APIs and process using appropriate Python libraries. That being said, let me highlight the problem statement and also let me demonstrate what the outcome is. If you are interested, you can actually attend the session and you should be able to gain some key skills with respect to Python as a programming language. So at ITversity, as I have said, there is something called as labs. Everyone will get access to a gateway node, and on gateway node they submit Spark sessions using Spark Shell, PySpark, etc. When someone runs Spark Shell, PySpark, etc., it will hold on to the resources even if the user does not use the Spark context that is being created using Spark Shell or PySpark. Let me demonstrate so that you understand the actual problem. In this case, I am connecting to gateway node. Once you are connected to gateway node, if you have the subscription, you can launch something called as spark2 hyphen shell hyphen hyphen master yarn and then hyphen hyphen conf spark dot ui dot port equal to 0. Like this, all the Spark learners might be launching the Spark sessions. They either use Spark2 hyphen shell or PySpark. Once it is launched, you should be able to write Spark based code using Scala as programming language or Python as programming language in interactive fashion so that you understand the APIs that are relevant to data engineering using Spark. However, if you just launch and if you don't use it in interactive fashion, still the resources will be retained by this session. And if there are so many users who are just launching like this, and if they're not using, the resources will be wasted unnecessarily, and the subsequent users who want to practice will get impacted. And we started getting a lot of complaints around that, and we want to address that issue. One of the way is to use Python as programming language and get a report sent to the support staff so that the support staff can take the corrective action. Let me demonstrate few things here so that you understand the context of what I'm going to cover as part of this unique session. I am actually launching another session here. In this case, when I say I'm launching another session, I'm just connecting to gw02.itversity.com, which is nothing but a gateway node using the user training. So I have another session on that host. However, I'm not launching Spark Shell or PySpark in this, but I'll be running a command called as yarn application hyphen list. It is a simple Linux command which will provide list of yarn applications that are running, which includes my other session which I have started here. it will actually include that details of that session also. I think that session is nothing but this one. The user is training and application ID is this one. If you want to get more details about this application, there is another command called as application status, yarn application hyphen status, and then you should be able to pass the application ID to it, and you should be able to see the details of that application. One of the key information is nothing but start time. Using this information, we should be able to compute age to see if there are long running sessions which are sitting there taking away resources which is impacting the new users who want to practice on this lab. This is one way to get the information. Another way is to use curl APIs, not curl APIs but REST APIs. We can actually access REST APIs using curl at command line. So in this case, I'm running the curl command. I already have a curl command. Let me search for it. And as part of the curl, I'm actually providing the resource manager UI. Resource manager is nothing but yarn master. Uh, this is not resource manager UI, but this is resource manager URI. URI stands for some unique or something. I do not remember what U stands for. R stands for resource. I stands for identifier. So using this URI and concatenating with the REST-based API, we should be able to interact with the cluster, and we should be able to get the apps that are running at this time. It will give us all the yarn applications that are running at this time. The output will be the similar output which we have seen using yarn application list and yarn application status. You can actually see this. This is nothing but a JSON. So we have understood how to use curl to read the data from the REST API. Python provides certain libraries to actually trigger the calls to the REST APIs, and then we need to understand how the data is presented so that we can use appropriate libraries to process the data, which includes getting the age of the applications which are running currently at this time. Now let me come out of this. In this, there is something called as driver.py. I should be able to run this, but first I need to activate the virtual environment related to this project. So this is how you can activate the virtual environment, and then I can say python 3 driver dot not python 3 but python driver.py, and then I can pass the age. Here I am trying to get all those applications that are running for more than half an hour. It will give us the application ID and the age. And this is how we should be able to extract the information from that complex JSON which we have seen. You will understand which libraries should be used when we actually walk you through about the implementation details of this simple application. As part of that session where I'm going to cover how I came up with this solution, I will not only cover the implementation aspects using Python as programming language with appropriate libraries to invoke the REST API calls and also compute the age, etc. I will again walk you through starting from the problem statement, what are the options we have, which option should be chosen, and how we can actually leverage the libraries to come up with the solution in a systematic way. Okay, and on top of this, if you are interested, you can improvise further by reporting not only the long running jobs but also those jobs which are taking too many resources, and we can actually notify the support staff so that they can take the corrective action on those jobs. That being said, I hope you will be liking this session. Definitely will learn quite a bit how to solve this complex problem with simple code using Python as programming language by using appropriate libraries. As of today, the way you should be solving the problem is you should code very little. You should be able to identify the appropriate libraries. You should know how to identify the appropriate libraries. Once you identify the appropriate libraries, you should be able to stitch them together to come up with a solution for your problem. Okay, that being said, once again I'm reiterating, if you are interested to get notified about this session which I'm going to cover as part of this weekend, once I upload in YouTube, you will see the subscription link for my ITversity channel. Click on that, subscribe to the channel, and also click the notification button. Also, there will be other information that will be provided as part of the description. Go to the description and take care of the appropriate action as per your preference. Also, if you like this idea, please click on the like button, and also you feel free to share with your friends on LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., so that more and more people can understand the power of Python and start building effective solutions for their problems using Python as programming language. I am covering using Python, but this can be applied with any other programming language as well, not just Python. You just have to identify appropriate libraries of the programming language of your choice, and then you should be in a position where you can stitch these libraries together and come up with a solution for your problem. You should not be coding too extensively these days. You should understand the broader perspective, identify the libraries, stitch them together to come up with the solution. I hope you'll be enjoying the session. Feel free to provide the feedback. Thank you.